Every night at 3:07, my daughter talks to someone in the closet. She says he tells her stories about where the lost children go. Last night, I saw it. A shadow crawled out, tall, faceless. It stroked her hair and smiled at the mirror. But in the mirror, she wasn't alone. There were dozens of children behind her, all whispering my name. And then she said, "He wants you next, Mommy." Sound, eerie whispering, closet creaking, mirror crack, low demonic growl. Text on screen. Every night, my daughter talks to a man in the closet. Once you hear him, it's already too late. The whisper. Every night at 3:07 a.m., my daughter Lily talks softly in her room. At first, I thought she was dreaming. Children have imaginary friends. But she always faced her open closet, whispering in the dark. When I asked her, she said, "It's just the man who lives there." She described him. Tall, pale, with long black fingers. "He tells me stories, Mommy," she smiled, "about where people go when they're lost." That night, I closed her closet myself and wedged it shut. But at 3:07, the door creaked open on its own. Lily laughed softly, her voice joining a second, deeper one. I opened her door, and the shadows in the closet moved. I blinked. They were gone, but the air smelled like rot. Scratches by morning, Lily had fresh scratches down her arms. I asked her about them, panicking. "He said I needed to be marked to play," she said calmly. There were 3 long gashes, perfectly parallel. I took her to a doctor, but they said it looked like animal claws. No animals had been in the house. I checked the baby monitor footage from last night. At 3:07, Lily sat up and spoke to the empty closet. Then, a dark shape crawled out on all fours. Its head twisted unnaturally to look at the camera. It raised a hand toward Lily, then the feed cut out. I deleted the video, out of fear. Rules of the game. Lily drew a picture at school of herself holding hands with a shadow. "I'm winning the game," she said proudly. When I asked what game, she said, "Hide from the light." "He hates the light," she added. "He said he was burned alive." That night, I installed a bright lamp in her closet. At 3:07 a.m., it shattered from the inside. Lily screamed, and I ran to her room. She was in the corner, covering her eyes. "He's angry you cheated, Mommy," she sobbed. Suddenly, the closet door slammed shut. A low growl echoed from within. The walls bled a dark, black fluid. The closet man Lily began speaking in her sleep, in a voice not her own. Low, guttural, ancient. "He's called the Watcher Between," she whispered. "He eats the silence between breaths, the spaces where no one looks." I started researching local legends. Nothing matched, until I found a diary from 1934 in the town library. A child named Elsie wrote about a shadow man in her closet. She died mysteriously in her sleep at age 6. The last page read, "He lives behind the wood. Do not feed him." That night, Lily said, "He wants to show me his world now." I asked where that was. She pointed at her closet. Inside. The mirror test desperate. I placed a full-length mirror across from her closet. At 3:07, I watched from the hallway through a cracked door. The mirror reflected something moving, but nothing was visible in the room. A long black arm reached out, brushing Lily's hair. I burst in, but the room was cold and empty. The mirror, however, showed Lily, still talking to someone. Her reflection grinned at me, while her real face looked afraid. I covered the mirror. In the morning, Lily's eyes were pitch black. By noon, they faded back, but she didn't remember me. She called me Elsie. That night, she asked if I would bleed for him too. The closet opens. I boarded the closet shut, nailed it with iron. I sprinkled salt across the doorway and read prayers. That night, the whole room shook violently. The walls cracked, plaster falling like snow. Lily hovered above her bed, eyes glowing faint red. The boards exploded inward like something broke out. She landed with a thud, unconscious. A voice whispered directly into my ear. "One door closes. I open 3. The hallway lights burst. My phone buzzed. Every photo now showed him behind Lily. I turned to her, and her mouth moved with his voice. "The night visitors." The next night, footsteps echoed through the house at 3:07. They weren't ours. Shadows walked freely now, slipping across walls and ceilings. One stood over Lily's bed all night. When I approached, it hissed, freezing the air. In the morning, her bed was soaked in black water. "I visited his place," she said. "There are other children there." I asked how they got out. "They didn't," she said with a giggle. "He wears their skin when he walks in the daylight." I packed our bags to flee, but the car keys were melted into the floor. The burned man. That night, I dreamt of fire. A man screaming inside a wooden coffin. He looked at me and screamed, "You brought me back." I woke up coughing soot. The house reeked of smoke, though nothing had burned. Lily was drawing again, stick figures in flames. One looked like me. She said, "He was burned alive in the walls long ago." He told me, "You're part of the deal now." I looked at my hands, blistered and cracked. The fire hadn't been a dream. I was beginning to burn from the inside. Blood on the ceiling, blood began to drip from the ceiling, forming symbols. Lily spoke in tongues, eyes rolled back. I tried recording, but the camera melted in my hand. Every night now, 307 became a ritual. The closet no longer needed to open. It breathed. I heard crying inside. Not Lily's, but other children. Hands reached through the slats, clawing at the air. One whispered, "We want to come home." Lily screamed, "Don't listen. They lie." Then she collapsed, choking on shadows. I called a priest. He never made it to the door. The offering Lily stopped eating, stopped blinking. She sat cross-legged in front of the closet for hours. "He's ready now," she said. "He only needs one more." I begged her to come with me, but she only smiled. "You're the last one, Mommy." The closet door creaked wide. Inside was pitch black, no end, no floor. A whisper crawled out, "Bleed, and she lives." A blade appeared on her pillow. I backed away. Lily began to vanish, pixel by pixel. Screaming, I stepped forward. Inside, I fell into the closet. There was no bottom, only falling, endless and cold. Screams echoed from every direction, children, women, men. I landed in a hallway made of bone. Paintings of every child he'd taken lined the walls. One space was blank, with my name scratched in blood. He emerged, tall, faceless, skin charred black. He whispered, "You opened the door, you finished the story." Chains wrapped around my body, pulling me down. My mouth filled with ash. Above me, Lily's voice, "I'm sorry, Mommy." Then the door slammed shut. The new game. The house is empty now. No one lives there, but lights turn on at 3:07 a.m. Lily's drawings still hang in her room. One new figure appears each night. The closet creaks, even though it's sealed in concrete. Children from the neighborhood say they hear laughter inside, sometimes crying, sometimes both. A girl's voice is caught on baby monitors down the street. She whispers, "Want to play?" And then she giggles. "Tag, you're it."